Talk about a blast to the past as on January 1st of 2025 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. local time in the Pacific time zone, we have an old familiar Rose Bowl matchup. We have number 1 Oregon at 13-0 hosting number 8 Ohio State at 11-2. A rematch of what I thought was the best regular season game of the 2024 season, taking place at the former home of what was essentially the championship game between the former Pac-12 as we once knew it and loved it, and the Big Ten. It's wonderful. In a year of changes, we have something familiar. We have something treasured. That's what the Rose Bowl is. The Rose Bowl is the epitome of college football tradition. It's wonderful. The environment is unlike anything else. I haven't been there, but that's just me, basing that opinion off of testimonials, what I've watched on TV in prior Rose Bowls. Oregon in the 21st century has been one of the best, if not the best, program in the Pac-12, especially in terms of consistency. And for Ohio State, that is for sure the case in regards to the Big Ten as their best program in terms of consistency and also winning at a high level in the entire 21st century. Those two will be matching up for Ohio State versus Oregon round 2 in the Rose Bowl on the first day of 2025 on New Year's Day. This game is going to be cinematic, and we're going to talk about some matchups in this game that really fascinate me as sort of an early preview. But before we do so, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when we go live for shows during the week to give previews, predictions, react to recent news. And we're also going to be going live for this game where we're going to be talking play-by-play. I'll give color commentary, do all that stuff live while the game is going on, and also answering your questions in the live chat. And we'll be doing that as well for Boise State, Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl, for Texas, Arizona State in the Peach Bowl, and for Georgia, Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. So hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when that stuff goes on. Again, subscribe, like the video, share the video around to other college football fans who love the sport. We need your help to build the best college football channel and Big Ten football channel on YouTube. And also, join our Discord server via the link in the description or down below in the pinned comment. And if you want to support the channel monetarily, donate some money to support the work I do here on College Football with Sam. You can purchase merchandise from my merchandise store, make a purchase on my Patreon page, or you can donate via YouTube. But the Patreon page and merchandise store links are in the description or down below in the pinned comment. The first matchup I want to discuss here really quickly is Oregon's rushing defense. Their D tackles, D ends, linebackers, safeties. We're talking about players like Derek Harmon, Jordan Birch, Mateo Uyunglele, Jamari Caldwell, Bryce Betcher, Jeffrey Bassa, Tysheem Johnson. And they're going up against Ohio State's Will Howard at quarterback, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins at running back, center Carson Hinsman, guards Austin Sierreveld, Luke Montgomery, Tegra Shabola, tackles Josh Fryer and Donovan Jackson. How does that work out? This was a fascinating matchup that Oregon won, and I thought actually won fairly convincingly the first time around. Outside of 2 long Travion Henderson runs, and Henderson's an alien, so he'll pop those off if you block well for him with his speed, Oregon won their rushing defense versus Ohio State's rushing offense. They won that battle, where Ohio State averaged less than 3 yards per carry outside of those 2 long runs. And sometimes people think that criticism is disingenuous, but you'd rather have 5 yards per carry with several 10-yard runs where you can consistently use that as a weapon, rather than a rushing attack with a 50-yard run and a 30-yard run that at the end of the day nets 5 yards per carry on average. Because what that means is outside of really those 2 runs, you didn't do anything on the ground, and eventually you'll probably abandon the rushing attack and be more one-dimensional. And that's exactly what happened. And what makes this more fascinating is that Seth McLaughlin and Josh Simmons started the Oregon game. They won't be playing. And Ohio State's offensive line has gotten worse since that game. Oregon's had some issues stopping the run all season long, but I still think they have a good rushing defense, and I think part of the issues they have is because they faced Ashton Jeanty, Henderson, Judkins, Penn State's Singleton and Allen. They have faced, Michigan's rushing attack, Wisconsin's. They played Jonah Coleman from Washington, who's an awesome running back, and they shut him down. So I think that the truth's somewhere in the middle. They're not an elite rushing defense, but they've also faced a lot of good running backs who can make plays on their own. And they have Jordan Birch, who they didn't have against Ohio State. So on paper, in theory, Oregon's rushing defense is stronger and deeper than it was against Ohio State the first time around. Meanwhile, Ohio State's rushing offense is weaker than it was. But I haven't seen Will Howard run the speed option much, and when they ran it against Tennessee, he looked pretty good. So I imagine Ohio State has some strategies and wrinkles that they could throw at Ohio State or at Oregon on the ground. And the game isn't played on paper. So I'm fascinated to see how this plays out. Another matchup is Oregon's passing offense. Quarterback Dylan Gabriel, their wide receivers Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart, Trayshawn Holden, their tight ends Kenyon Sadiq, and also Terrence Ferguson, and their offensive line, Johnny Cornelius, Nishad Strother, Marcus Harper the second, or maybe it's just Marcus Harper, Iapani Ololu, and Johnny Cornelius, and of course, if I didn't already mention him, Josh Connerly Jr. They're facing off against Ohio State's passing defense. Their D-line, linebackers, DBs. Their pass rush, Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, Ty Hamilton, Tyleik Williams, linebackers Sonny Styles and Cody Simon, and their DBs, Denzel Burke, Davison Igbinosun at corner, and then Caleb Downs, Lathan Ransom at safety, Jordan Hancock of the nickelback position. Can Oregon have the same type of success they did through the air against Ohio State? That's a big question because outside of that one performance, Ohio State's secondary has looked pretty good. And Ohio State's pass rush schematically has changed a bit since they played Oregon. They've been blitzing more ever since playing Oregon. Now I wanna say that against Oregon they did blitz at times, and it usually went in Oregon's favor, where Ohio State sending the extra man didn't generate any more pressure, and it simply let there be an even wider hole for Oregon to complete a pass to. But maybe that changes. I think that Sawyer has had kind of a hot hand through the last two games. He's gotten better as the year's gone on. And Oregon is not perfect on offense. They've had some clunky games. So while this offense heavily favored Oregon the last time, and on paper I think favors them a bit again, it is still going to be a fascinating matchup to see. Remember, Ohio State did stop Oregon on a goal line situation. So if they can maybe just limit explosives and force Oregon to methodically go down the field, maybe they can hold Oregon to fewer points than last time. And then last but not least, Oregon's defense, their passing defense and pass rush against Ohio State's passing offense and pass protection. Oregon's defensive line got Derek Harmon, Jamari Caldwell. You got Jordan Birch, Mateo Uyungale, Jeffrey Bosson, Bryce Betcher at linebacker, and then Tysheem Johnson, Nico Reed, Jabbar Muhammad, and Kobe Savage, and the players in that secondary. Against Ohio State's Will Howard at quarterback, and again, Henderson Judkins at running back. Their receivers, Jeremiah Smith, Mecca Igbuka, Carnell Tate, and then offensive line with Hinsman, Sierraveld, Shabola, Fryer, and Jackson. Ohio State, like Oregon, had a lot of success against their opposing secondary when they faced off in Autzen. The difference was Ohio State's passing attack had less downfield explosive plays. It was a lot more systemic. I wonder if they try and go downfield and hit more explosives like they did against Tennessee, but do that against Oregon. The challenge is Oregon's secondary analytically is better than Tennessee's, and I think overall is more balanced and deeper. But Ohio State could also do what they did against Oregon again and be very methodical and tactical, because I don't think anyone on Oregon's secondary can consistently cover Jeremiah Smith or Emeka Igbuka, and that's a problem. And also, in relationship to Oregon's pass rush versus Ohio State's pass protection, again, Ohio State's offensive line has dealt with some injuries. They've gotten worse as the season's gone on, sadly due to the injuries. And Oregon's pass rush, I think, has improved as the year's gone on, especially with Birch coming back. So I'm fascinated to see how this game plays out. Again, it is January 1st, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. local time in the Pacific Time Zone. That's when it kicks off, and it's between Oregon and Ohio State, who I think right now are at least top 4 teams power ratings wise, and potentially the 2 best teams in the country power ratings wise. A lot of people are calling this the de facto national championship game already. And while I don't agree with that entirely, because like Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Penn State, I think can contend to win it all, I also understand the sentiment there. So go Ducks, go Buckeyes. I'm excited to cover this game. The preview and prediction for this game will be out in 24, 48 hours. So again, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when that releases. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell so that way you can get notified when new content from College Football with Sam drops. I appreciate you very much, and also share the video around to others who you know enjoy the sport of college football and love it as I do and as you do, and comment your thoughts down below so that we can have a conversation, because I want to know what you are thinking. And join our Discord server where we talk college football 24/7 via the link in the description or down below in the pinned comment. Thank you to my Heisman Patreon members, Crash2488, Brasco Rascal, and Kylo OH. Thank you to my All-American Patreon members, Chris Lane, Ismar, and Tyler Nye. And thank you to my All-Conference members, John Lynn, Roaming Gnome, Matthew Sale, Austin Christmas, Joshua Jorgensen, and Will Loftus. Make sure to check out my merchandise store and or Patreon page, or super chat down in the comment section below to support the channel. The Patreon page and merchandise store links are in the description or down below in the pinned comment. I hope you have a wonderful day. It is December, so Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year. I will see you guys soon.